The Dragon's Diamond. In the land of Fantasia, there was a beautiful castle that belonged to a queen. She was a wise ruler who always had time for her people and was loved by all. However, one day, an evil sorcerer came to her kingdom. He was jealous of her power and coveted the diamond that the queen wore around her neck. It was said that whoever possessed the diamond would be granted eternal youth and a life of riches beyond measure. The sorcerer demanded that the queen give him the diamond, but she refused. Angered by her defiance, he summoned a dragon to attack the castle. The dragon, named Ember, had been under the sorcerer's control for years and was a fierce creature with fiery breath and sharp claws. Ember descended upon the castle, scorching everything in his path. The queen knew she had to act quickly to save her kingdom. She called upon the bravest knights of Fantasia to fight against the dragon. But no matter what they tried, they could not defeat Ember. He was too strong and too fast, and he seemed to be invincible. Desperate for a solution, the queen went into the forest one night to seek the help of the ancient dragons. These were the wise and kind creatures who had lived in the forest for centuries and were known to have magical powers. The queen pleaded with them to help her defeat Ember and save her kingdom. The ancient dragons listened carefully to the queen's plea and, after much discussion, decided to help her. They knew that Ember was under the sorcerer's control and that they had to break his hold on the dragon to defeat him. The ancient dragons cast a powerful spell that weakened the sorcerer's control over Ember. The queen and her knights then attacked Ember, and after a long and fierce battle, they finally defeated him. The sorcerer fled, and peace was restored to the land. As a reward for their bravery, the ancient dragons granted the queen and her people eternal youth and riches beyond measure. The queen returned to her castle wearing the diamond, which now shone brighter than ever before. And Ember, now free from the sorcerer's control, joined his fellow dragons in the forest. From that day on, the people of Fantasia knew that they could always count on the dragons to protect them from harm, and they lived in harmony with these magical creatures for many years to come. So the next time you look up at the sky, the Dragon Twins. Once upon a time, in a faraway land, there were two dragons named Torque and Tark. They were twins, but they were very different from each other. Torque was brave and adventurous, while Tark was timid and shy. One day, Torque decided to go on an adventure. He flew to the nearby town, where he met a group of children playing in a park. At first, the children were afraid of him, but Torque managed to win them over with his friendly personality and playful nature. Tark, on the other hand, stayed behind in the safety of the mountains. He didn't like leaving his comfort zone and didn't see the point in taking unnecessary risks. Days turned into weeks, and Torque continued to visit the children in the park every day. He would play games with them, tell them stories, and even let them ride on his back. Tark watched from afar and felt left out. He wished he could be as brave as his brother and make friends with the children too. One day, a wicked witch came to the town and started wreaking havoc. She was on a mission to capture all the children and turn them into her slaves. The children were terrified and didn't know what to do. Torque knew he had to act fast. He flew to the mountains to get Tark's help. Tark was scared at first, but when he heard about the children in danger, he realized that he needed to be brave for their sake. Together, the Dragon Twins flew back to the town and fought the wicked witch with all their might. In the end, they managed to defeat her and save the children. The children were overjoyed and grateful to Torque and Tark for their bravery. They realized that even though Tark was timid, he had shown tremendous courage when it mattered most. From that day on, Tark was no longer afraid to leave his comfort zone. He joined Torque on his adventures, and together, they became known as the Dragon Twins who saved the children from the wicked witch. And so, the town lived happily ever after, knowing that they had two mighty dragons looking out for them. The end. The Dragon Keeper's Daughter. Once upon a time, in a faraway land lived a young girl named Alara. She was the daughter of the Dragon Keeper, who took care of the dragons in the kingdom. Alara grew up surrounded by the majestic beasts, learning about their magic and ways. One day, while playing in the forest, Alara stumbled upon a small dragon who was lost and scared. She quickly befriended the little creature and took it under her wing. The dragon had been banished from his clan for being too small and weak to protect them from their enemies, the dark dragons. Alara knew she had to help the dragon find his way back to his family. She set out on a journey with her new friend, facing many dangers along the way. They crossed treacherous forests, climbed steep mountains, and even encountered the dark dragons. But Alara was brave and resourceful, and with the help of her dragon friend, they were able to overcome every obstacle. They finally arrived at the home of the small dragon's clan, where they were met with suspicion and hostility. The leader of the clan was a large, fierce dragon who believed that weakness should not be tolerated. But Alara stood up for her friend, telling the clan that it is through kindness and unity that true strength is found. The clan eventually recognized Alara's wisdom and accepted the small dragon back into their fold. From that day on, Alara became known as the Dragon Keeper's daughter, a symbol of hope and kindness in a world full of danger and darkness. She continued to befriend dragons and spread her message of love and unity all throughout the kingdom. And so, the dragons of the land and the people of the kingdom lived in peace and harmony, thanks to the courage and kindness of one young girl, the Dragon Princess. In a far-off kingdom, there lived a young princess named Aurora. She had long golden hair and mesmerizing blue eyes. One day, while taking a walk in the forest, she stumbled upon a group of baby dragons. Upon seeing them, Aurora's heart melted with compassion, and she decided to take care of them. As days passed, the princess grew fond of her little friends and soon became an expert in the art of dragon taming. She learned their language and trained them to fly high and breathe fire. One day, as Aurora was out hunting with her dragons, they came across a wicked witch who sought to capture the princess and turn her into a toad. The dragons, sensing danger, immediately took action and breathed fire at the witch. However, the witch, being cunning, managed to put up a shield that protected her from the flames. The dragons were terrified, but Aurora, being brave, decided to face the witch head-on. The witch, impressed by Aurora's valor, decided to make a deal with her. She promised to leave the kingdom alone if Aurora gave her one of her pet dragons. The princess refused, knowing that the witch would not keep her word and that the dragons were like family to her. Outraged, the witch turned all the dragons to stone, leaving Aurora heartbroken. The princess, determined to find a way to bring her friends back to life, embarked on a quest to find a magical flower that could break the curse. After overcoming many challenges and facing dangerous creatures, the princess finally found the flower. She brought it home and used it to break the curse, freeing her beloved dragons from their stone imprisonment. From that day on, the dragons became known throughout the kingdom as the protectors of Aurora and her people. They flew high in the sky, breathing fire and keeping the kingdom safe from harm. And Aurora, the Dragon Princess, lived happily ever after with her loyal companions by her side.